Alright, so this is the figure review for Mugen Saga Mugen Guardian set, which is the second set that I've reviewed now that comes with twice the number of dudes, but in different color scheme. So you have the primary white, green, and brown guys, and then you have the secondary black, purple, and brown dudes instead. So in order, we have Mugen Elf, Mugen Deluxe of some kind. I don't know what a Deluxe is supposed to be. Mugen Warscythe, Mugen Goblin, Mugen Spider, and Mugen Hornet. So with that, let's get these guys out of the way and take a closer look at the other dudes. So there's the squadron all together in their glory. And now let's move them off to the side so we can take a look at each one individually, starting with the elf. Because of course. So here's the elf in all of his glory, and he is by far one of the worst ones because he is stickered up to hell. This is a sticker, this entire thing is a sticker, and if you take off his head, it goes all the way over. He's supposed to have stickers right here on his arm, but they're missing. His legs are supposed to be stickers as well, are supposed to have stickers. Like, there's this little divot right there where my thumbnail is. That's supposed to be a red sticker. This entire gold thing, or this entire spike is supposed to be a sticker. This piece right here needs to be a sticker. And then this gold piece is all sticker. And then there's supposed to be another sticker right there. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but there's a little triangle divot, and that's supposed to have a sticker on it. But yeah, here's Elf. Arms, full 360, can go out that far, and that's about it. Can go in, barely, before trying to peg off. This piece is very loose. I'm going to keep that off. He's got a megaphone of some kind, or like a blowgun, I guess? I don't know. But there's Elf. Next up is what is supposed to be a Deluxe. I have no idea what that means, and looking it up, it just shows me a cleaning product of some kind. So, Deluxe here has a little dude that he comes with that is underneath, I believe, Spider. Right there. And I am not taking him out. So, the sides here, parts of them should be wrapped in gold. This should also be wrapped in gold sticker. His beady little eyes that do have divots are supposed to be red. And then all of this gold is a sticker. So there's Deluxe. Next up is Warscythe, which is essentially just the praying mantis. So you got, I believe this is actually gold paint, thankfully. But unfortunately, gold sticker around here, red stickers around here, on the inside as well. And I believe that's it, actually, because he's... Oh, wait, no. This entire section that on the inside is supposed to be a red sticker. So, yeah. But at the very least, his eyes aren't stickers. That's one saving grace. Moving on to the spider. And he's pretty lanky. So... I presume this is like webbing, but it's solid webbing. So there's a sticker right there for it. There's 4 little divots right there that are supposed to have stickers. Only one is remaining. And then his entire eye stalk is just one big sticker, which is unfortunate. Anyway, second to last is the Goblin. So the Goblin here can actually pose. His arms can do a full 360. His arms can go out that far and in that far. His hands can go up and down if you need him to. He's got this big-ass axe / hand axe of some kind, which does unfortunately have red inlay stickers. Luckily, though, the Goblin's face isn't a sticker, but on the back of the helmet is a sticker, and I believe there's also a mouth plate that's supposed to be a sticker as well, which is unfortunate. Put on his helmet for now. And I believe he should have other stickers around him on his body. So this little divot where my thumb is a red sticker as well. So there's Goblin. And last but certainly not least is Hornet. So his tail can move up and down. Depending on how you have this piece pegged in, you can have his head move up and down, or you can have this piece move up and down. But much like before, there's supposed to be a red sticker here, sticker right there. I believe these things, yep, they should also be in stickers as well, which is unfortunate, but they're not. So these little dots should be red, and then parts of these should be gold. Taking this off, sticker, and I believe the inside is also supposed to be a sticker, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. And then the gold wraparound is sticker. Thankfully, this is paint, though. His tip is paint. So that's it for the little guys. Excuse me. Let's say we start getting them into combined mode, shall we? So, much like before, we just rip them off, or rip them apart entirely and completely. So take off these bits, take off the head, take off what will be the chest piece, take off the legs, take this piece off, which looks like a torso of some kind, take off these side bits, ow, take off the tail, and then, oof. Alright, and you're left with the pile pieces. Put them up to the side. I'm going to start doing that instead so you can actually see the pieces. Let's take Bullocks here since he's much more simpler. So take him apart, have a piece fall down, and then take off these little sword bits. And there's all of those pieces. Next up is the spider. I believe with the spider, you don't actually want to take apart the tail. Oh, no, you do. Never mind. So, rip off his tail, rip off his legs, and rip off the head. And there's his pieces. Next up is the mantis-looking thing. Take off his mantis blades, which come in part into 3 separate pieces. There we go. And rip off his legs. Rip off his head, and then take these apart. Pile pieces. And then take Elf. This already came off. Take off his weapon. Take off this. Take his arms off and flip the peg up like this. Take the head off and then take the legs off. Pile of pieces. And then finally with Goblin, rip off his axe, rip off his arms, rip his hands off. There's a small bit of prep we can do, actually. Oh, wrong instruction booklet. Dumbass. Wait, no. Oh. Alright, sorry about that. I was looking at the wrong instruction booklet. Take this tail piece off, rip off his legs, rip off his helmet, and then rip his head off. And there's all of those pieces. But before we move on, take the axe and plug it on top and have it straight as you can get it to be, like that. And with the Hornet, you actually want to keep these pieces together. I was looking at the wrong instruction booklet. So you just want to keep these, or keep this together like that. Oh, I wonder what that would form. Alright, so... Oops. Let's put together this guy. Alright, so let's start off with the arms. So take the piece that connected the mantis and then the piece that was on the back of Elf. Have the pegs facing back so you see that sticker detail. take the fists from Goblin, and those will be the combined mode arm or hands. There we go. Don't know why that was so hard. And then take Goblin's legs, and they will actually be the upper arms for the combined mode. And then take these green pieces from Hornet, and then peg them on. So peg meets peg hole, peg meets peg hole. Peg them on like that. Wrong orientation. Like so. And then you want to take the spider's legs, and then the pincer bits from Deluxe. Take the spider leg and peg it into the side of the leg, or of the arm. And then take one of these guys and peg it on to the back. So you got that all set. And that, I believe, is both arms all done. So pick it in, and then boom, you got your Guardian arms. Next up, we will take the pieces from the Mantis, take the legs of the Hornet, and then take the legs, the lime green legs of the Mantis, and the big green legs of the Mantis, and then the arms of Elf. And all of this will form the legs. And then also take these pieces as well. And you're going to want them having it so that the pig is facing back. So this will plug into this. Apologies if you couldn't see that. And then this peg will peg into the leg. But you want to have it so that the blasters are pointing forward. So this will be the foot. And then have the arm, or no, wrong orientation. You want to have it so this peg is on the outside and then this peg is on the inside. Because then you can peg the arm using, I believe it's the fist hole. No, the second hole. So use this one right here. There we go. And there's that. Oh, and you also want to take the Mantis blades too, because these will form knee spikes, like that. Take the Mantis legs, peg them on to the very bottom one, so you have clearance for that kind of shape, and then peg on the leg, like so. And there you have a foot all done, or a foot and a leg, lower leg. So second first, same as the first. Move the peg down, plug it in, give him a knee spike, peg in the leg, or the foot, peg in the arm, peg in the Mantis leg, and peg in the other Mantis leg. Like so. And there you have your legs. And you believe you also want to have the top peg folded down as well, so you have the peg hole. Like that. And that's the legs. Flipping it over. Take the helmet and then give it the little decoration from the dude, and that's why we need it to be straight, because there's a little divot perfectly fit for that golden thing, and this will be the helmet, so set that off to the side. Next, let's form the body. So take the body of Goblin, take the body of the spider, peg, peg meets peg hole, and peg hole. Plug it on. And then take the sides of the Dulex's head. And they will actually peg onto the sides, right here. To kind of form the shoulders. And then we can set this off to the side and take Goblin's head as well, because that'll be the coup de grace, or coup de gravy. Take Elf's head, and then take the spider legs. The spider legs will actually peg on upside down in this orientation. Plug it in. Plug it in. And then you want to take the heads of the bugs. Take this one and peg it on here, and then take this one and peg it on there. Doesn't actually show you where you peg in. Oh, no, it does. Never mind. Okay. And there's the backpack. Let's bring the main body back in, because we got a bit of pieces to peg into. So peg the elf head underneath, or upside down. Then peg these two pieces right here. And here. And now we have the body all set up. May as well move this as well. Next is the lower body. So take this, and then take what were the goblin leg, or goblin arms, and peg them on, and then fold them down. Excuse me, and fold down the peg. You want to have it so that these are facing forward, and I believe these are also supposed to have stickers on them, but they don't, because of course they don't. And then for front skirt, he gets this piece, which totally looks like a chest plate. And then as a butt plate, he gets the spider on his ass, like that. And then the other spider legs get put on as side skirts. So you got this going on. Put that off to the side. Now let's make his weapon. So take the remaining pieces. Plug in Elf's legs. Oops. Take an Elf's legs and peg him like so. So you got a bow. And then take this. You do actually want to keep it together. Yeah. And then the tip goes in this side. And then this gets all plugged in to here. And then this feathery bit gets pegged on as well to further boost it. And there we have a giant-ass arrow of some kind. All right, let's put them together. So we got a leg, and another leg, and then we got a lower torso. Peg him in. Peg him in. Get him standing. Then peg on the body. Peg in the arms. Raise up, or move the camera back, and raise it up some. Plug the backpack in using the lower peg, or the higher peg actually, because that's the only way it'll fit. Bend his arms. Put on the chest, or chest piece, like that. And then give him his weapon. So the giant ass arrow goes on the right, whereas the bow goes on the left. which can be kind of tricky to do because there's barely enough clearance. He's fiddly, but he's actually staying together, which is impressive, and I greatly appreciate that. And then take the goblin head and turn it around. And then peg that into where it's supposed to be going. And finally, he dons his helmet, where you can barely see his head when you look at him from dead on. Anyway, there is Mugen Guardian. And shockingly, he's actually staying put together rather well in comparison to all of the others so far that I've reviewed. Looks quite nice, and you can really see the pop of some of these stickers as well. So, here he is from the front. Side profile. The back. Other side profile. And then back to the front. Now, of course, where there's no issue, there is one issue. And that's he's very spiky. Like, so many points and bits and bobs that are completely spiky. So, be careful when you're dealing with him, if you have him. But anyway, for size comparison, here we have Paladin Arthur. Get a sense of scale between those two. Dark Pharaoh. Get a size of scale between these two. And lastly, Mugen Yamato. So you can see how much taller Yamato is in comparison to 6 spots versus 12. Granted, these 12 are very small. He's not even the biggest one. And there's that. So now, what about the other 6? Well, they have a different configuration they can do. Alright, time to get all of these pieces put together. So let's take spider leg, spider leg, arm, or what will be the arm, no fist yet, arm, piece, that, and not done, because there's this, that, and where, there you are. Oh, and then the legs as well. So, there. So, these are the pieces we will need. So starting with one of the claws, take one of the claws from the spider and then take the leg. Then peg meets peg hole, like so, and that is the hand. Peg this into the arm. And then much like with the warrior, the upper arms form the same. However, instead, we take the spider legs, and they instead go in the back. Like that, like this. And where the shoulder pads instead get pegged on to here. So there's your new arm. So second first, same as the first. Have it right this way. Nope. Peg that on. Fold the peg down. Get a proper bending. Peg that in. Peg that in. And we're off to the races. Arm all done. Next, let's form the legs. So we take these these elf legs, and these as well. And then we take these. So, much like before, we fold this piece down, we fold this down. So then that way this can peg into the bottom. Take the foot, and much like before, make sure it's on the inside. Like that. Oh, and elf's hands, or arms as well. And instead, we actually peg on elf's leg. Excuse me, entirely. Upside down like that. And then we take elf, and then yep, have it facing this way. Put that in, and then oh no, wrong one, because you want it to be on the inside. Because peg the elf fist in there, so then that way we peg this into there. And there's the leg. I think. Yep. So actually, hang on. Because it says, yeah, shit. Ugh. Go down. So, peg on and then peg on, because they can't really meet. So, that's the orientation you want to have the leg in. So second first is the first. Flip this back to peg in this piece. Peg this in. That in. That in. And peg on the leg. And there you have the legs. Next up, let's form the helmet. So the helmet this time around is actually the head. So instead of having it in this orientation, we have it in this orientation. So we give him a bit of plumage. There it is. Give him a bit of plumage. And then we peg the feathery bit upside down. And we use the hands from Goblin to peg into the sides of the head. Because what's a demon without its horns? And there's the head. Put that off to the side. Now for the body, much like before, we peg these two pieces together. And we peg on the spider piece. And then it doesn't matter what orientation you have the goblin head in. You can either have it in goblin mode, or you can have it in dude mode. But for the sake of brevity, let's put it in goblin for now. So there's that. Next up is the backpack. So take Elf's body, wherever that may be. There it is. And then take these legs. They will go on on the opposite side, like this. And then the bug heads go on very much the same way as they did before. And that makes for a cleaner looking backpack, I think, and I feel. Next up is the lower torso. So we take these pieces, pick them into the side. And then take the legs, or take these pieces rather, not the legs, and they will be the side skirts. And then Spiderhead gets pegged on upside down. And then we take this piece and have it upside down. Take this piece, plug it in. And then take the stinger piece, plug that in. And then you plug this entire thing upside down. And that will be the front skirt. Then obviously turn Goblin's legs upside down and around. And peg them in. And there you have the lower torso. Grab the upper torso back, because all we need to do is peg on Elf's head. And there we go. Now for the weapon, which is pretty fucking cool. So we take the megaphone, we take this part, put it upside down, and peg it on top. And then we take this empty it and plug it into the bottom. Then we take the axe and peg it on top. So he's got what I believe is a bardiche of some kind. Now let's put them together. So take the legs. We peg the piece that fell off. Take the lower torso and peg them in, peg them in. Get the legs all situated. Grab the body, peg it on. Grab the backpack, peg it into the back. Peg in the arms. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. I apologize. Peg in the other arm. Give him his chest plate so that he doesn't look naked. Completely tear him apart. As any warrior should, give him his axe. Or bardiche. Curl it up and then just strain the blade. Oops. Now this dude is having trouble. Great. And then I'll form the head. And this form does have a name. Death Mugen Guardian. And there he is in all of his sinister glory. There we go. So, let's bring back Guardian in so we can see what the differences are. So, obviously, right off the bat, the heads are different, the chest plates are different, the arms are different, the weapon is different, the lower skirt is different, the side skirts are even different, and the way the legs combine, or the feet combine, are even different. And there's no knee spikes on this dude either, and the backpack is also different. But all in all, it's mostly the same configuration. with a handful of key differences. So there they are together. Here is Death Guardian next to Paladin Arthur. Next to Dark Pharaoh. And next to Yamato. Uh-oh. Yamato came undone. Ah, shit. Please hold. Alright, now, believe it or not, these two have another party trick. So that is going to require a complete disassembly of him and an alternate mode for him. So let's get that started. Okay, so you want to strip down Guardian so he pretty much looks like this, completely barren, lost all of his accoutrement, and what have you. So let's put him behind, make this closer, so we can put together the pieces. So let's actually make the shield first, because believe it or not, he gains a shield. So take this. That will be upside down. And then this, we'll plug it in to there. One of these pieces, wrong way. That's a simple fix though, because this will get plugged in on top. Like so. So you got this going on. And then all of this will plug onto this piece. And then the spider head will plug in as well. So at the end of the day, the orientation is this for the shield. And then we want to take the spider legs, as well as the mantis stuff. Now this is a bit tricky for the orientation, so please bear with me. So you want to have the mantis legs. So when looking at the shield dead on, you want to have it be like this. So I believe... what's the proper orientation? Okay, so mantis leg like this, then other mantis leg like this, and then you peg them on together like that, and then you peg the spider hand in like that. That's what the picture is showing. Because turn that over, plug it in, plug it in. Because if we do that, turn it over, the peg hole will go in the peg. Right there. That'll form the shield. Somehow you can get these guys closer. Or get the leg to be closer. Ah, there we go. You want to have it turned a certain way. Oops. So you want the shield looking like this. And there's the back. Put the shield off to the side. Let's make his new weapon. So, utilizing that same piece, we take the megaphone, peg it onto the bottom of the megaphone, take the axe, peg it in, take the base of the spider web, peg that in, then peg the other bit of the spider web in, and then peg on the stinger, and there you have the new weapon. Put that off to the side. The backpack pretty much stays the same. Now let's take Guardian here, back up the camera and lift it up. Turn him around. His legs get pegged on to the back this time, with the spikes facing forward. So he's got that going on. What was on his helmet is now his new crotch plate. And I believe all that's left. Oh, right. These come off. I don't remember where they go, actually, because they get replaced by the spider legs. Where do they go again? Ah! Because these pieces actually get plugged into quite literally the ass. Almost. So now we're limiting his leg articulation. So he can only go forward, but not back. Because if he goes back, then he's going to kick his butt plate. We're not done with him yet, because we got these pieces. The mantis thing. They just go on. Yeah. They just peg onto the outside of the foot. Like so. We're not done yet. He needs some new chest armor pieces. Or chest armor accoutrement. So there's that. And then these pieces get pegged on and form the new shoulder armor. And now peg on the backpack, which goes one lower this time. Give him his mighty weapon, which is a pain in the neck to peg in because of the peg. Replug the arm back in, get him standing straight, and give him his shield. Then lift it up. And there is Mugen Guardian in his alt form. Mugen Guardian riding mode. Now, what kind of thing is he riding? Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, let's start from here, because these are the only pieces that are going to want to stay together. So I completely disassembled Death Guardian and kept the body together, the arms together, but I took off the extra bits, and I kept these together. But you want to actually take these apart and actually put the fists in them. And then take the arm, turn it around, and then turn the other piece around. And this will form the leg of the creature. Move that off to the side, and then do second first same as the first. Unpeg. Peg into the back. Peg into the front. Turn around. Peg in. And there you have your alternate mode arms, or legs, I should say. Now let's take the body. You also want to keep the chest piece on. As well. So in this orientation, you peg this in, and then peg this in, right side up. I'll move that to the side for now. So take this, You want to take the antennas off of these bug dudes, because they actually play a role, surprisingly enough. So take this one. That gets plugged into here. Oops. Now, I don't know why it has you do this. It just does. There we go. And then this gets plugged into here. Fold it down. And how do you all connect? Right. So you get pegged into one of the legs. So we actually want to use the peg this time around. But, wrong way. No, correct way. Wait, what? No, I had it right the first time. Never mind. So peg it on in this orientation, then have the decorative piece damn it. Like that. And then this pegs into where the head used to be. So we got that going on. And then we take the arms of Elf, and they just peg on upside down. And then take the head and the helmet of Goblin, and that actually gets pegged in upside down, like that. So we got this going on. Put that off to the side. Let's work on the actual head of this creature. So take this piece upside down, take the spider head, and I personally want to give him articulation in the head, so he can bob his head up and down. Peg in the stinger bits. So that the blade, so that this feathered piece is facing towards the spider head. And then peg on the mantis blades underneath to kind of sort of give them mandibles. Ah, shit. It went into my box. Hang on. So I got this going on. And then we peg the axe bit like so. And there's the head of our creature. Now we take these legs and the body, take these horns and peg them in like so. Peg the insect heads onto the side. So the one with the spikes goes on the right, and the one with the edges go on the left. And then peg in the mantis legs. So we have this going on. And that all will actually plug into the body of the beast. So we have this. Put that off to the side. Next up, let's make the tail. So the tail is pretty simple and straightforward. Take a body piece, take a leg piece, flip down the peg, goes into peg hole, and then plug in the megaphone upside down. plug in the other spider piece, like so. Excuse me. Plug in the plume, the way around, and then plug in the stinger, because that's obviously a tail piece. So there's the tail. Next up and lastly are the wings. So we take the legs of the hornet and have it in this orientation, because these pegs will be what peg into the thing. So take these pieces, plug hole, meets peg, fold the peg down, take these and use the top one, peg that in, plug in the blade of the mantis, plug that in, and that's pretty much the wing for now, because this next piece, or next part, is tricky. So, from here, we take Elf's legs, and then that plugs on like so. And then we take spider leg, and that pegs onto the underneath of the elf, like so. And then we take the front leg of mantis, plug that in. And there you have your wing. So second first is the first. Plug in this other way, so that the hooked foot is actually on the inside. Plug that in. Plug this in. And there you have your wings. Where does Elf go? Oh. He, unfortunately, I think anyway, it's probably plugged into the underneath of the head. Like that. So, let's combine them all together. So, this is a mess. I will say that right now. So, first, let's peg on the legs, which I believe get pegged into... yeah, I believe they get pegged into the hands of... or the back part. I'll plug them in here. Oops. Put the side skirt on correctly, please. Or the front skirt. Take the other leg, plug it on. And there is his legs, with the front skirt coming off because it's a piece of shit. Or there's no clearance for it. Then the wings get pegged on where the arms were. Oh wait, wrong orientation. So the legs, it looks like they get plugged into the fist instead. Then we plug in the butt plate, because the butt plate is actually how the tail connects. So if this doesn't want to connect, then the tail can't connect. So I'm going to try bringing these one forward. I'll be right back. Alright, he's all fixed up. So I just moved the arms one thing forward, and it works perfectly fine. And now we peg on the head. And the head, as you can tell, is droopy. But here is the alternate combined mode for Mugen Guardian. And he doesn't... Oh, that's why, because these aren't straight. Stand on your knuckles, please. Whatever, rest on your tail. There we go. And there is the combined mode for the Death Mugen Guardian Dragon mode. Much shorter than the actual combined mode, as you can see. Though in terms of height, yeah, wonderful. It's definitely got it beat because it can fully extend its head to the heavens. However, these guys, as stated before, he can ride him. Now, unfortunately, that's a bit of a difficult task. So I will just show you where you want things to peg in. So you want to have the dragon on his stomach, extend the tail. The head can be positioned however you want it to be, and the wings. So I believe, yes, this peg right here, this peg right here wants to be pegged in by this peg hole right there. And that's how these two are going to be able to, well, that's how Guardian is going to be able to ride the dragon. So if you'll allow me a moment. And there is the ride mode in all of its pain in the ass glory. I am not going to touch this thing or move this thing because if I do, parts are just going to keep falling off. The back end is going to fall off. The wings are going to fall off. Guardian himself is going to come apart and fall off. Hi. But here is a size comparison with just Dark Arthur, so you can get a sense of scale. So there's that. Anyway, I think with that, I'm about to call it here for now. So, I've been Mukishi, and I'll see you next time.